In this video, I'm going to use hot water and jet ballistic to make a work holder to help me set my turquoise stones. I wanted to use thick bezel wire for this piece, and that makes it difficult to set the stone using only a bezel pusher and fingers. Putting the work in this thermoplastic and allowing it to harden around the piece makes it to where I can place the piece in my vise and hammer the wire down around the stone without it moving around. This is the first time I'm using this product, so you'll see my learning curve and hopefully you can learn from my missteps. Having said that, I would definitely invest in a water kettle or have something at your bench that heats the water, because going back and forth to the microwave to heat the water wastes a lot of time. The jet ballistic comes in pellet form that you can place in hot water. You want to let it sit for a minute or so to soak up the heat, and then it becomes pliable enough to form around your piece. Use the spoon to gather them together. Squeeze out the water, and when it's pliable enough, you can form it around your piece. Now here was mistake number 2 to learn from. You don't need to form it a lot over your work to hold it, and don't squish it into any tiny spaces like the holes of chain. This makes it difficult to release later. This is how not to form it over your work. I let it set up mostly before I took it over to my vise. I wanted it to be a little pliable when I put it into the vise to form a flat contact with the jet ballistic, so I would have a good firm connection and no wiggling while I hammered. Here you can see a different bezel that I have set in the jet ballistic, and it's barely formed over the side of the bezel plate, and that was enough to hold it firmly in place while I hammered. Trust me, don't squish it into any bead wire or chain. You can see what a nice bezel setting it allows you to create. You know your stone isn't going anywhere. Here I'm going to release the bezel setting from the jet ballistic using hot water again to make it pliable. I'm using my tongs to hold it in the water because I don't want to submerge the stone in the water. I just want the water to touch the ballistic that is holding the metal. Once I think it has sat long enough, I pull it out of the water and pop it out of the plastic, and that's it. I'm definitely going to use this work holding method in the future projects that I do, as it holds so much better than a pin vise in my opinion. But I want to share my revised shape and method. I noticed the jet ballistic wants to stick to the plastic bowl that I'm using, which makes sense because it's plastic. Moving forward, I think I'll probably use a glass bowl. I used a wooden block to help shape my new holder, as it doesn't stick too much if you put water on the block. I'm pushing down to form the face of the work holder and also squeezing it to make a T shape that'll be inserted into the vise to hold it. It's a much better shape and it's easier to handle. You can use this over and over again. You don't have to make a new one every time. Place your bezel over the face and use your nail to push the plastic over the edge. And here's the new shape.